United Nations has voted on Palestine's right to self-determination. This move has far-reaching consequences, not just for Palestine and Israel, but also for the international community as a whole. On November 15, 2024, the United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution affirming the right of the Palestinian people to independence, self-determination, and freedom from the Israeli population. Therefore, the resolution gave the people of Palestine the authority to establish an independent state of Palestine. Why the need for these votes? We need to revisit the past to comprehend the worth of this vote. Now, the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians dates back to the early 20th century. In 1947, the UN proposed a partition plan dividing British-mandated Palestine into two separate states, separate Jewish and Arab states. A year later, Israel declared its independence, which led to extensive conflict and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. Since then, the region has seen wars, uprising, and peace talks. However, a lasting solution remains vague. The backbone of this conflict is the Palestinian demand for self-determination, the right to self-determination and establish an independent state. You might be wondering what the UN is doing about this. As a matter of fact, the United Nations has not been quiet. It has long been involved in the issue. The Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, was granted a non-member observer status in 1974, and by 2012, Palestine was recognized as a non-member observer state. However, the question of independence and self-determination has remained contentious. The UN has passed several resolutions affirming the rights of Palestinians, but these have often been met with resistance from Israel and its allies, including the United States. However, the November 15, 2024 vote took a shocking path. The resolution passed with an overwhelming majority, with 170 member states voting in favor and only 6 against. The resolution, titled "The Right of the Palestinian People to Self-Determination," states that this right is inalienable, unconditional, and non-negotiable, rejecting any so-called security measures imposed by Israel as preconditions. This comes on the back of an 18 September UN General Assembly adaptation of a resolution demanding that Israel brings to an end without delay its unlawful presence in the occupied Palestinian territory and do so within 12 months. Voting results in favor 124, against 14, abstain 43. The few nations who voted against the resolutions are Israel, United States, Argentina, Nauru, Micronesia, and Paraguay. Countries like Afghanistan, Venezuela had their voting rights revoked, mainly due to sanctions imposed by the United States. Nations like Australia, Canada, all EU member states, and most nations from Africa, Asia, and South America voted in favor of the resolution. The resolution was co-sponsored by 119 UN member states, representing a broad coalition of African, European, Asian, and Latin American countries, highlighting the widespread international support for Palestinian rights. The resolution drew references from the advisory opinion issued by the International Court of Justice, which reinforces the Israeli occupation illegal and called for its immediate cessation. According to Israeli Ambassador Gilad Erdan, by voting to partially and preliminarily recognize a potential Palestinian state, the UN General Assembly is moving to empower the Hitler of our times, and Churchill, Franklin Roosevelt are turning in their graves.
After Hitler's rise to power, the Nazis sought to subjugate humanity under their iron fist while annihilating the Jewish people, but not only us, all those who they deemed subhuman. But in the face of this genocidal plot, the forces of good came together in order to end this horror, to return freedom and peace to the world. And following the Allies' victory, this institution here, the United Nations, was founded with the mission of ensuring such tyranny never raises its ugly head again, never. Today, you are about to do the exact opposite and advance the establishment of a Palestinian terror state which will be led by the Hitler of our times. The Hitler of our times. In the 1940s, the world united to destroy a murderous regime. Yet today, with sick and twisted irony, the very body established to prevent evil is now welcoming a terror state into its ranks. What would Churchill say if he were alive today? What would Roosevelt think? They are turning in their graves, turning in their graves.
This vote is more than symbolic. For Palestinians, it reaffirms their struggle for recognition and sovereignty. But for Israel and its allies, it raises concerns about security and prospects for a two-state solution. The Palestinian ambassador to the UN, Riyad Mansour, reaffirmed Palestine's commitment to securing international support for the rights of its people.
In simple words, voting yes is the right thing to do. And I can assure you, you and your country for years to come will be proud to have stood for freedom, justice, and peace in this darkest hour. As everyone is saying, free Palestine, and peace for all. And I repeat, free Palestine and vote yes for the resolution, and I thank you so much.
Critics claim that such resolution could further polarize the conflict, while supporters believe they are a necessary step toward justice and peace. The timing of the resolution is particularly significant as it comes amid the ongoing Israeli atrocities against the Palestinian people, particularly in Gaza. This vote highlights the persistent challenges in achieving a two-state solution. It also highlights the significance of international law and the role of a global community in addressing long-standing conflict. While this vote doesn't create a Palestinian state overnight, it is a clear message from the international community. Now, it is up to global leaders to translate words into action. What do you think about this UN's vote? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe.